something.
I'll try it.
That's right. Questions?
Alright, so this is another weekly series of crit racing out here in Southern California, Long Beach. We got ELDO Series happening. Got started the women's race. We got our own race right now because we have I think 10, maybe 12 women in the field tonight.
These grumetto grids just grab. I was like, lesson learned.
Dude, I woke up at 4 today. 4. I went to the gym.
Woo!
I hit my back and arms. Look at this muscle.
Oh!
I'm in those 40 kilos.
You're gonna need a permit for those guns.
I know! And then I worked for fucking 10 hours.
That's salary, baby.
Dude, I'm getting overtime. I don't feel it.
Shit. Okay.
It hurts myself. It hurts Sarah. Okay.
That is the perfect sprinter move right there. Warm up, first lap, pull, and then be done.
This kind of reminds me of
And then sprint past everyone for the preems and the final. Yeah, every time. Every week. Every Tuesday. That's what happens. And now this is the bumpy section where you're going into turn 4, the sprint section, and you got all these bumps. You have on the other side of the course, you have geese just pop out. So this is, yeah, at the very end where you start winding up for your final sprint. So Katie here, she's like super strong she just moved up to be a Cat 3. She was just winning all the time in the fours, you know, just taking these long, like, hard pulls.
Everything's good, you guys look good.
Yep, so I took my turn in the front and I was just rotating to the back. So, look and beholden, there's the sprinter again, just like cruising back with me, like, oh, you're going, I'm gonna go. Now, the farmers team, they had 3 people on their team, and they're consistently showing up to ELDO. Like, every week it shows, it pays off, and they consistently place in the top 3. So, yeah, just following this rough back section here. It's like a rodeo back there. It's just lots of bumps, and then you like have to wrangle yourself through there and then go to this straightaway with this heavy headwind section. So it's critical to be single file here. Yeah, so now there's like 2 lines in a way forming, and yeah, just fighting that wind. Okay, so now everybody's moving up on the right hand side, and it's just it's getting bumpy on that left part. It's really like moving me around, so I'm trying to get back into the formation.
That chain slap though.
Well done.
Yeah, and so now this section, again, the bumps, it's like you really had to remember like what line you would take. Would it be that center line? Would it be like closer to the right, closer to the left? So yeah, getting some water because it was like 90 degrees out that night. It was stupid hot. Just like drinking Gatorade out of my bottle. Stupid hot, windy. But yeah, we hung on. Yeah, so major motion here, taking the like long pull. There's definitely like quite a bit, but yeah, took that headwind, and so now it's my turn to pull. It's like just pushing around 200 watts. So my FTP is lower than this. From when I've done ramp tests on Zwift, but still, yeah, it's hard. So I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be pulling this much. Just slow down a bit. Just try not to do too much work because it's still it's a 45-minute race. Like, and you have some energy at the end for that sprint, which you generally start picking up here again on turn 4, and then once you hit like kind of where these trees start, that's where I like start. And the 200 banner, there we go. There's the 200 banner.
Well done, well done.
chopper Phil passing through. So the men's 4.5s gave us space as they passed this time. There's been instances where it's been close calls, being pushed over to the gutter, and that's scary as fun. But this time it was a safe pass, so it, just going back, getting some speed, and like coasting towards the back, but just didn't want to like go to the front and just pull, like wanted to keep some distance back here. And also the wind is coming from the left side here, so trying to stay on the right side of the wheel gets better draft. Yeah, I feel like at this point in the race, I was more warmed up and ready to just sit more towards the back of the group, and so I would conserve more energy back there. So it's like only pushing, down to like 120 watts. It's really chilling, but still going like 22 miles per hour. Like, this is a great spot to be in. It's bringing my heart rate down, and don't have to do too much work. So this little hill here, but just stay in line and you're all set. Okay, so right there I just gave my wheel away, basically. I was right next to my friend, and I was like, oh, I know now why you're riding right next to me on the inside. And it was just like, yep, I need to draft like super close to the wheel to be able to keep holding on to it. Yep.
Okay. You gotta practice more drafting. It's like, I keep giving my wheel to you.
So now everybody was slowing down then, but hopped on to their wheels, so that made it easier to just like stay in the front and control the pace. So here I just got bored. I just straight up changed lines. I was like, you know, I feel like drafting her instead of her. You know, there really was like no rhyme or reason to doing it. I just did it. And then I was like, I'll draft her wheel now. Okay, yeah, maybe hers too. Just, you know, sometimes in these 45-minute races, I'm like, why not try something different? Change it up. Yeah, I will say that's something I like to do pretty, maybe to a fault, you know, doing it more than I probably should, but I just like moving around the pack. Like, I like being in the front, I like being towards the back, I like being to the left, I like being to the right, I like trying out different people's wheels, different places. Like, sometimes you are cool with being like next to someone, sometimes you're like better being behind them, sometimes you're like, I don't want to ride anywhere near that person. So like, where you want to feel, like where you want to be. Yeah, I just like ELDO is a great race. ELDO, you get the chance to feel where you want to place yourself. Like, you know, how many escape options do you want? Do you have mobility? Are you locked into that spot? Is it like the shortest route though? Like, is it the shortest line? Maybe so. You know, this left side here, it's like super bumpy, but it is the shortest line. So, if, you know, you're willing to hang with those tree bumps, like, go for it. Okay, and so here's where a gap opens up, and I'm just like, crap, I missed that jump. Like, here I am just chasing this woman who did a time trial before this race. Like, she's on her second race now, and luckily the front slowed up, and she was putting down the power, so we were able to just bring it back together. a lot of this race, I was focusing on something that I've been finding like I have to relearn, like is the drafting. So being really close to somebody's wheel, trusting that wheel, and getting that sweet spot, wind coverage, especially in this straight back. Super windy, and you have to draft super close. But here it's only like, putting out 100 watts. But then when I get into the wind, it's like 250. So it's a huge difference.
True, thank you. Funny, I can race brakeless with roadies. Woo!
Pretty good. And number 23, you got
23 has 2 laps? Oh, maybe the man. So when you're drafting, do you keep your core tight, elbows loose?
I don't know how to ride my bike.
No, come on.
So here with 3 to go, starting to pick off who I'm going to be competing against in the sprint. I know sometimes Laura here in front of me, she's more steady power, time trialist. But today she had done a time trial right before, so I'm like, okay, she's not going to go with 3 laps to go. Who's going to be one in the Cat 4-5s who I'm going to have to sprint against? And then it's also who overall, who's going to win the race altogether. And I'm next to Shawnee here, she's definitely got that sprint game. So she, just playing it smart, staying a little bit towards the back, surf some wheels. I know Laura's tired here. Got Summer. She's been pulling a good amount.
It's going on YouTube, by the way. I'm going to be on YouTube.
here, being in the front of the race, trying to still do a little amount of work as possible. You know, doing 100 watts if I can. Now it's 150, and here spiked up. But yeah, back down to around 100. You know, not trying to work that hard, but you know, still have to pull a little bit. So coming up on 2 laps to go. Start positioning myself where in the line I want to be.
Let's go, ladies. That's 2 laps to go. 1 to go. 1 to go.
Woo! Go Moses! Oh, that's his name? He told me something different last night!
Why am I still pulling? Okay, and this is how you don't win an overall race, is you pull with 2 laps to go like this for that long, and thankfully Aislinn comes through pulling, and the rest of the squad. So still out in the wind though, putting in a lot of watts down and trying to figure out what part in the sprint, what position I want to be in. I think I usually like top 5, but could also be back all the way back here and still move up.
Wearing off!
And in this moment, I thought we are going 16 miles per hour. Maybe it's the time to break away, you know? Maybe you just time trial and go for it. And use the men going by as a distraction, where they're just like, you know, already slowed down, and then, attack. But thing is, at ELDO, there's multiple races happening at the same time, and you cannot hop on to the back of another race. Like, that is cheating.
Are you just yelling now?
That said, we stayed safe. We stayed to the right, and yeah, gas back on the pedal. Right here towards the back, a little bit, get a good draft, protect from the wind. So we're not going that hard into this corner, but we're still moving.
Stay right at the spotlight.
Okay, so here there's a breakaway attack, and immediately two of the riders went ahead to shut it down and regroup, because this person ahead broke away. They're strong. They could like keep that engine going. And so all the sprinters, we realized like, oh crap, we gotta get that, because if that's a breakaway, it's out. So, you know, I just didn't put in enough of the gas right here. You know, this 240 watts was a very hard effort for me. Luckily though, the group like slowed down a bit. They caught her, and so they regrouped, and here we were again, back to the chess game. Okay, so that moment there was, I was cheering for my homegirl, and yeah, I was like, woo, go Melanie, look over to the right. And then next thing I know, I look ahead, and, you know, naturally just like changing pace line, changing rotations, like sometimes it slows down, like that's just part of it. And you know, I was looking to the right instead of straight ahead, and so that slowdown caught me off guard. I braked just a hair, turned my front wheel a bit, but it was enough to be like, okay, this is still a race. This is still, you know, the final setup. Like, we gotta stay focused. Because everybody's lining up now, making their moves, getting their positions right here. There's a lot of like wind coming from the, basically like the top right corner. So I'm getting a lot of wind here, but it slowed down, and I just decided to attack. I was like, this is getting too slow. This is towards the end of the race. I gotta go. So I attack, and then I look back, and I see my sprinter friend on my wheel, and I'm like, oh, heck no. So I slow down. I'm like, I'm not leaving you out. And then at this point, this is around when the group caught back up to me. But at least this time, I was in a better position. I was towards the left, the inside line, and I was, you know, I had no one ahead of me. I had no one to beat. But that said, they could have very well just hang on to my wheel. So I yell at this rider last lap. He moves over to the side, and then here's where the sprint starts, and it was just like full gas, blackout kind of moment. And here in this final sprint, it turns out that we kind of boxed out one of the riders in the sprint, but you can see it more closely in the slow motion. So Shawnee's leading it out, and then all the rest of us are just fighting for that position. And I had actually sat down right as soon as I got like 50 feet to the line, and that's racing for you. That's another exciting ELDO.